The Manning River, naturally. This is a tourist slogan used to entice visitors to the pristine waterways of New South Wales' mid-north coast. The Manning is the only double delta river system in the southern hemisphere, but at the moment there's nothing natural about the river's two entrances. And it's become the staging ground for an all-too-common battle between the environment and the economy.
Well, money talks, and therefore in a lot of cases, in a lot of countries, if you try to look at the priorities, the environment inevitably is fairly low.
Stretching 250 kilometres from Barrington Tops to the sea, this mighty river system is the lifeblood of the dozens of towns and cities along its path. It opens into the ocean at the major centre of Taree, and it is here that things have turned ugly, with the town bitterly divided over how to harness and use this magnificent resource.
So there must be a balance between what we call economic benefits for the population, human population, but also maintaining the ecology of the environment for other living things in the environment.
Over thousands of years, the Manning River has developed a drainage system in which the inflow of water from the catchment area is in balance with the outflow of water through its two deltas to the sea. The entrance of picturesque Carrington is permanent, with a thriving maritime community on the banks of the Manning. But on the other side of the sandbars, the Farquhar Inlet entrance at Old Bar is languishing. I'm down here at Farquhar Inlet, and behind me you can see the new entrance to the Manning River. In 1956, oyster farmers and fishermen were angered that severe flooding had destroyed their valuable crops, and so they took action. The locals grabbed shovels and earth movers and gouged through the pristine sand dunes to make the river reach the ocean. The outflow of water from the Manning River was now divided between the two entrances. Over the last 55 years, the entrance has been forcibly opened at systematic intervals. The oyster farmers couldn't be happier.
With the Old Bar entrance open, the oysters are totally different, they just grow better. There's more flow going through, without flow, the food's not getting to the oysters.
The Manning River is home to thousands of oyster leases, producing over 3.5 million oysters every year. Having the artificial entrance open protects the farmers' investments and pushes more salt water further up the river, creating better growing conditions for the oysters.
It affects everyone in this river. You've got to have the both entrances open for this river to work properly.
While the opening of the artificial entrance may have huge economic benefits for the region's growers, having it open permanently significantly reduces the flow of water in the river. Over time, this has seen the beginning of the destruction of navigable channels through the Harrington entrance. Farquhar Inlet has been changed from a large expanse of deep water to an area of sandbars and spits due to the build-up of sand. I'm standing here just a couple of hundred metres down from where the new man-made entrance exists, and as you can see, this is where the Manning River stops. It is here that if the river were to flow naturally, the Manning would meet the sea in times of flood. You only need to visit the artificial entrance to see the huge toll this is taking on the surrounding environment. This area was once a deep inlet where now sandbars and spits are clearly visible, lying just below the shallow water surface. This is caused by a build-up of sand as the water is now pushing out of two entrances with less strength and energy. Large amounts of sand are not being moved naturally along the river. This is all because of man's interference.
If you have too much of an impact, they do not recover. It's just like us abusing our bodies. We recover, but if we abuse it too much, then we end up in hospital.
In recent years, the flood levels required to reopen the artificial entrance have been significantly lowered, which means that the entrance is now being opened more and more frequently.
In the last 6 months, they've agreed to drop the level at which they bridged the sand dune down at Farquhar. So that will result in more openings in Farquhar, because the water level only has to get to what they call 1.6 metres ADM, whereas previously it had to get to 2.4 metres, which is quite a significant reduction. So the concern there is that with that reduced lowered height, the amount of sand that's forced out of the system when it is opened will be much less than when it was the level was 900 millimetres high and had that extra energy.
Man's interference in the natural processes of the river may prove to have large economic benefits, but the long-term environmental effects have the potential to be catastrophic.
if we don't look at it from a long-term point of view, it is eventually going to come back and bite us.
Alison Zell, UTS News.